How's it going, guys? Sajin's Gamertag here. This is the first installment of hopefully a long-going series I'm going to start called Sajincast. It's going to be a gaming podcast of sorts, uploaded directly to YouTube. My guests tonight are a couple of good friends of mine. We have Chris, or GamerShoe27, his Wii U Nintendo Network ID. Say hi for us, Chris.
What's up, everyone?
And I also have Koopus Krupa. Say hi for everyone, Koopus.
Hi there.
All right. And first topic at hand is Mario Kart. And so
Mario Kart 8.
I will start
Yes.
with it's been almost a month since Mario Kart 8 came out. Those of you who have played it, how are you liking it?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. I've only been playing it for like maybe a couple of weeks, but I'm really enjoying it. It's probably the best Mario Kart game so far in the series, in my opinion.
It's definitely an improvement. I consider it that, because Mario Kart Wii was just a big letdown back in the day, and this one is just a lot better, I think. And it's just
Yeah, I would consider it.
Yeah,
I would consider it to be a big improvement in several ways.
right. And let's get into that. The first thing would be the mechanics and item balance. How are we feeling about that?
Well, it's much better than Mario Kart Wii. It's pretty easy to be better than that, though.
Yeah.
Um, unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of experience with Mario Kart 8, so really I can't really say anything about the mechanics. So this is kind of like my first time playing something like it, but I'm enjoying it so far.
Right, and the things that Mario Kart 7 introduced to it with like the whole kart customization and everything, it adds like a whole deeper level than games like Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart Double Dash had before it, where you're not just picking a kart and you're stuck with whatever stats you have. You get to make your own stats, and so it takes a little time getting used to it, but hopefully it's worth it. I find that it's made the games a little easier, because before Mario Kart 7 came along, I thought like Mario Karts were impossible to beat. I was never able to beat Double Dash or Mario Kart Wii because I had such limited options with things to do, but with 7 and 8 with the kart customization, I have a ton of different combinations to try out. Well, if this didn't work, maybe that will. And I eventually beat them both.
Yeah, what I like about the card customization is the option to try and beat the weaknesses of the character that you choose, because every character has their own strengths and weaknesses. Some characters are heavier, some characters have better turning. So when you look at the different parts of the cart and your stats, you have to balance them out with whatever character that you're favoring. That's something that you haven't done before. You just sort of chose what character you like the best.
Yeah, I totally agree. The card customization thing is a big improvement over the previous Mario Kart art entries.
And Koopus is right in that you can essentially counter the weaknesses of the person that you choose, because Like lighter characters have more acceleration, and the heavier characters have more weight that counters that. But you can find balances within there. Like in a video that I covered, where I give few of my tips and reveal my secrets for what carts that I choose. What I try to find is basically just like a balance of the stats, and not shooting too high or too low, but just trying to find that middle ground for everything.
Yeah, what do you favor most? I tend to favor towards handling and turning. I think some people like to go for speed, some people like to go for weight so that they can really blast through the tracks.
What I really go for is I want at least 3 bars of both speed and acceleration. And past that, I could really care less. But that's what I focus on.
For me, I usually focus on acceleration and traction, because for me some of the tight corners on the tracks really are well, no, tricky. So that's what I usually go for is traction.
Yeah, traction's good to
Yeah,
have,
that's what I like too.
especially since the off-road in just like a lot of Mario Karts is really killer. It slows you down a whole lot, and it's unbelievably cruel. And that was one of my biggest issues with Mario Kart Wii, is that for a game that really emphasized the motion control, you'd think there'd be a little more trial and error and a little more forgiveness if someone swerved off the road, but no, it slowed you down almost completely. It was really cruel.
Yeah.
Something that I liked about Mario Kart Wii was the battle mode was loads of fun.
Alright, that is the next topic, I believe. Let's talk about the battle mode in Mario Kart 8, because compared to other ones, it's been kind of gutted. I mean, we just have one mode to it, Balloon Battle, and then battle mode no longer has, like, unique stages to it. We just get to play on 8 of the tracks from the Grand Prix. So how are we feeling about that?
It's not as
Yeah.
gutted as some people say because there's so many customization options to the matches. But I definitely preferred the specific courses like Block Fort and places like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Like, for me, I've always preferred the specific tracks for battle mode, the arenas. So, in my opinion, the battle mode for Mario Kart 8, for them to just use the tracks from the Grand Prix mode, that to me is just lazy.
It was a bad decision, definitely.
What I gathered from this decision by Nintendo, though, is that they are completely focused on the racing aspect of Mario Kart 8, and the battle thing is just an extra novelty that is granted to us. And so, to enhance the racing aspect, to the degree that they want, they're willing to sacrifice elements of the battle mode. And the racing itself is really great,
Yeah.
but I just don't feel that
Yeah.
we need to compromise.
Hmm.
Yeah, something that I noticed about battle mode when I was playing it with my friends was that you're forced to slow down if you're taking the strategy of just sort of camping by an item box. You can look around at the HD graphics and really enjoy the details and different things they put into each stage. So that might have been part of their reasoning behind putting the stages as battle mode. I don't know.
I was playing locally with a friend of mine once, and the first time he played Mario Kart 8, we were doing Grand Prix and stuff, and he was really having trouble. But like the next time he came over, we decided to do battle mode eventually, And he told me that we should have started on battle mode because that let him get used to the tracks and get used to the turning and how to drift and all that. And so
those tracks are hardly the most challenging turning wise, though.
he just didn't understand how drifting worked, because when we played Mario Kart Wii, we would always do the automatic because we were using the Wii wheels, and so I just never got to drifting in Mario Kart Wii. But Mario Kart 7 helped me with it, and so when Mario Kart 8 came out, pretty much the same thing with the drifting mechanics. I was like, I've got it. So, but he just didn't get that he could control the drifting while he was doing it with the control stick. He didn't get that until like the second or third time playing, so...
Yeah, it's a technique that you have to sort of develop. I didn't do that in my childhood when I was playing. My first Mario Kart game was Mario Kart 64, and there's actually drifting in that too. It's just really downplayed.
Yeah, like
you don't need it, but it does give you a tiny little boost.
Yeah, since getting Mario Kart 8, like the night I got Mario Kart 8, I went back and played Mario Kart Double Dash, and I've played Mario Kart 64 as well since then. And the turning in those two were really, really sensitive. And so I never really felt that I needed drifting exactly. I felt that I could always make the turns without it.
Yeah, the drifting is more for the little boost that you get in those games.
Yeah.
I would always hop, though. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the aesthetic in Mario Kart 64 where you have all these little like cartoon sound effects bouncing around you.
Yeah, the boing.
When you get hit by shells, there's these bang sounds and stars going everywhere.
And if I remember correctly, you could also do the hopping in the original Super Mario Kart.
Or the Super NES?
Yes.
Perhaps you could. I never played that one a whole lot, so...
Yeah, I think there is hopping. You can actually hop over certain parts of the course to get, like, shortcuts and things. There was a lot of depth to the original game.
Okay.
I think they said one of the sort of bad things about Mario Kart 64 was that the courses were so straightforward and linear, as opposed to some of the shortcuts and little things that you could do in the originals with their very sort of planned out and not super thematic courses. But then they really sort of went into that with all the rest of the installments in the series. They decided let's go to all these different places. Let's make Rainbow Road a spectacular experience.
Right.
Yes.
Like all the rehashes of the courses I'm seeing from like the SNES and stuff, like there's Donut Plains in Mario Kart 8, and there was like 2 or 3 of them in Mario Kart 7, but they're all still really flat despite like the efforts that they try to put to it. It's always just like really flat and plain courses, and it's like there's like a tower or something in one area, that there's never really much going on those, despite how much they try to put in.
Yeah, but then Mario Kart 8 decided we're going to go crazy dynamic, and part of the stage is going to be completely vertical. It's really... I mean, the first time I did that, the first time I saw that happen in the trailer, I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
I think that's everyone's reaction.
Something.
Yeah. For the remade stages, though, I feel like they almost try a little too hard to put the anti-gravity in there. In like Toad's Turnpike, it made sense to me the most. In terms of like a remade one, it's like, I don't want to get hit by a ton of cars. I'm just going to drive up a wall and dodge them all. But there was like
Apologies,
the DS.
That's my dog.
It's fine. There was the DS remake, I believe, of like Wario Stadium, and they just have that one stage that's just on the side, the one part of it that's just on the side, and like the GBA Mario circuit where they just tilted one part up. And
it is cool to see it in like the opening part where it's actually being lifted into the air by like pneumatic pumps and things.
That was cool to see, yeah. It's like
It really puts you in the mind of the spectacle of the thing. Like, people will come to watch this in the Mario world, and this is something interesting to see.
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. This is pretty great. I don't know how much you guys have heard about this, but Mario Kart 8 has gotten DLC. It's just in Japan. Mercedes-Benz of Japan has partnered with Nintendo, and they've made a deal where Mario-style characters will be featured in Mercedes-Benz commercials, and in exchange, Mario Kart 8 got this Mercedes-Benz model car that is usable.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that.
Um. Eh.
If they're going to be advertising like that, then they're going to be like, Mercedes-Benz cars, they're not race cars, are they?
Mm-mm.
Not really. It's more of a luxury thing.
Well, the cars that you race in Mario Kart have never really been race cars, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
You got Rolls Royces and Double Dash.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's true, and they have like, I've seen other people like IGN and Game Explain talking about this, and they brought up things like it doesn't really fit into the world of Mario Kart, but it doesn't exactly look like a Mercedes-Benz looks in real life, and they have in Mario Kart 8 already, they have that sports coupe type of cart. I don't know if everyone has that yet, but so I feel like they're kind of in the same group because that's in
Yeah, I mean, the carts are all crazy. They got all kinds of weird things. That button
Yeah.
wheels and Yoshi bikes with arms. I think the exciting part of it is that the DLC might open the door to other things.
Yeah. That's true.
There is a rumor going around that there could be character DLC.
I've heard about that too, and you guys know me. I've been wondering where Bowser Jr. is since like Mario Kart Wii, and so.
Yeah.
But the point of this is it's not the Mercedes-Benz thing isn't really the DLC that we want, but there is DLC somewhere for Mario Kart 8, and so it's very likely that they'll put more up. And so
Yeah, we can only hope.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah.
in the next little territory, what do we want from DLC? What would you like to see if they announce it?
Well, the two things that are lacking from this Mario Kart installment are battle mode tracks and characters.
Yes. Agreed all the way.
I believe it was Game Explain who talked about this, and they said that it would be a cool thing to do if they release, say, another Grand Prix bundled with a character. And that's a DLC. And because I saw this video.
That
where
would be cool.
I saw this video where they were going
Yeah, that
really
would
in
work.
depth with like all the hints that Mario Kart 8 is giving that there will be DLC. They showed like the Grand Prix screen, and he's like, if you put 2 more Grand Prix icons on each side, then that perfectly fills the screen up. And it's almost like they left that space open on purpose.
Wishful thinking.
Oh, yeah.
No, they said the same thing about the Super Smash Bros. Melee character selection screen and how there's space open for, like, hidden characters.
Yeah, those character selection screens move around a whole lot while you're unlocking people.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with Koopus, I believe, who said we need battle stages. I think that would really help things.
Well, those are the two things that I really feel are missing from the game are battle stages and a nice selection for characters. I mean, we have all the Koopalings, and that was a big thing, but we also have Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach,
Yeah, like what's up
who
with
nobody
that?
asked for. The thing about Pink Gold Peach is, I think it's going to be a power up for the new Super Princess Peach 2.
Wait, what?
You've heard of Super Princess Peach for the,
Y-
I think it was
yes,
DS.
yeah, but I
It
didn't
was
know
a good
that
game.
there was going to
I
be a
think that there's
sequel.
a new one coming, but I don't know for sure.
Hmm,
All the
interesting.
juicy
That would make sense,
rumors.
though. I mean, I think I saw official artwork for other power-ups, and Peach getting power-ups in Super Mario 3D Land was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, do you think that's all that needs to be said regarding DLC, or?
I think so. I mean, we can only speculate from this point. There wasn't anything released at E3, was there?
No,
Mm-mm.
I didn't see anything about it. From my standpoint, though, I mean, I know, like, in terms of the Grand Prix, they released, like, the normal amount of content. I mean, we got what Mario Kart Wii and Mario
Yeah.
Kart 7 got. We got the 4 new Grand Prix and the 4 retro Grand Prix. But I feel like in this day and age, I mean, this is Mario Kart 8 is like one of the biggest games, if not the biggest game on the Wii U, and it would be really strange if they didn't put DLC to it. Because I mean, they gave like Mario Golf World Tour or whatever on the 3DS. That's getting DLC. You can get a season pass for that. They're going to constantly release DLC. If that's getting DLC, then why isn't Mario Kart getting it? When that's
It
definitely a
might
bigger
be a
thing.
marketing thing. I mean, there's things that they can develop DLC for, and there's things that maybe they just don't see as being viable. It might not be so much a matter of what they think is in demand, or it might be because of what they think is actually possible.
Hmm.
Like, I think they plan these things out like 5 years ahead.
They probably do. Which is no one certainly no one saw this Mercedes Benz thing as plausible, but it's there now, and so hopefully that opens the door up to
Yeah,
something.
that's just a marketing thing. That's just something that
Yeah.
happened because they had a commercial deal to uphold.
Now, interestingly though, what if, like, let's just say out of the blue, like Toyota of America goes to Nintendo of America, and they're like, "Hey, we want a Toyota in Mario Kart. Let's make that happen." And that can open up some kind of thing. Like maybe someone out there sees this as a good opportunity and they want to put more in.
Well, if they do, that'll be the marketing division's decision to see if that's going to be like a good idea.
Right.
They'll have to see how well this DLC does, and that'll determine the direction.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And next topic. Since we talked about Mario Kart 8, I just want to talk about Mario Kart as a whole. And I just want to ask you guys, what's your favorite Mario Kart overall and why?
I like Double Dash. Double Dash is my favorite.
Um. Yeah, Dash is definitely one of my favorites. Oh, oh, well, one of my two favorites. The one that I still hold near and dear to my heart is the original Super Mario Kart.
On the Super NES.
Yes.
I've never played that one, but I have played the GBA like remake. I think it was.
You, oh wait, you mean Mario Kart Super Circuit?
I yeah, I think that's the one.
I don't think that was a remake. I think it was a title all its own, kind of like Mario Kart DS is. But
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I didn't play that one either, though,
It
so
looked
I didn't know.
very similar though.
Perhaps, yeah. Well, it was Game Boy Advance. There was only so much it could have done, but
Well, I think the Game Boy Advance had all the power of the Super NES
Mm-hmm. It did.
so
with a little bit variation here and there and what it could do.
sort of like how the 3DS now is kind of like a portable Wii. At least I think so.
Yeah.
In some ways. I mean, if you look at some games that have their Wii version and then their 3DS version, there's obviously a disconnect. But that's just because of developing, I think, because a developer can take a game and really optimize it to its system. That's why I think first party games for Nintendo have always looked the best.
I think so too. They really know how to use their own tech. Like, I was really impressed back in the day when Super Mario Galaxy came out. I'm like, holy shit, there's an HD game on an SD system. I mean, it looked that good.
Yeah, it does look good, and that's
It did.
just
It
because
certainly
the
did.
developers know what they're doing.
Exactly.
They get really, really nasty, bad-looking Wii games from developers that don't know how to use the system. They
Right.
know how to use HD systems.
Right. The 3DS is kind of suffering that way too. There are some third-party 3DS games that really don't look that good, but if you look at like Mario Kart 7, it looks a little better than a Wii game does, at least I think. And it still runs
Yeah, in
really
some
well,
ways.
and so there's variation, like you were saying about the GBA.
We were talking about favorite Mario Kart. I don't think I got a chance to say why I like Double Dash, though. I really like Double Dash because of its gimmick. And I say that just because it's such a good gimmick.
Yeah.
You talking about the dual racing, dual two people on
Yeah.
a cart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a shame
I
that
don't know why they didn't revisit it.
I going
Yeah.
going back to the Mario Kart 8 DLC thing. I think it would be amazing if they added a new mode where you could do that.
Yes.
It's kind of the whole game, though. It's not really a different mode.
Well, Mario Kart's come a long way, I think. I think they can put it into a mode where you can choose to race that way, or they could just add new carts that are for two people, and if you pick that cart, you have to pick a second person to sort of implement it in some way, because they have
Well, the racing with two people also meant that you could collect two items at once, so that would be a
Uh-huh.
balancing issue.
Yeah.
possibly. They kind of took that out from Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 7, because what I would do is I would always like hold an item behind me, and then I could still get another item, but you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, but they changed that.
Yeah.
I kind of hate that.
They took away the one thing we all loved about Double Dash.
I guess one of the things about Double Dash that I really liked was that it was the first in like a new breed of Mario Karts.
How do you
Because
mean?
I had played Mario Kart 64 for it was one of my favorite N64 games, and one of my first N64 games, and therefore one of my first video games of all that I ever had.
Hmm.
So it had this sort of graphic style that I was used to. It didn't have 3D models; it had 3D rendered sprites.
Right.
So it just looked so different from anything else that I've ever played in the Mario Kart series.
Yeah, it sure
So
changed.
when I got Double Dash, it felt so different. It felt like I was in a world instead of something else. Whatever Mario Kart 64 is.
Yeah, and it changed so much, and some of it has been kept, like the kart selection, which was in Mario Kart Wii and has now been upgraded into kart customization. But I'm just sort of torn between how I should feel about the loss of its dual racer gimmick, because I feel like it could have been a little more influential if that was kept. And I could have been like, oh, this Mario Kart is only so great because Double Dash introduced that, but I can't really say that because they didn't keep that in. I can say that about kart selection, but it didn't help a whole lot to begin with, for me at least.
Well, Nintendo is always about innovation, and it has been that way ever since it started. So you could say it's innovation or gimmicks, it's gone both ways, but it's always going to want to do something new. So bringing something back would mean they would have to make it sort of on the back burner to something that's actually new.
Well, I think they sort of go back and forth between innovating but still keeping the tried and true, because I mean, we're still playing Mario Kart, we're still excited about Smash Brothers. They revived Kid Icarus on the 3DS, and that's a thing again. I mean,
Yeah, but there's always something new.
there is always a new element to it, but I would think HD and anti-gravity would be enough of the new element. But
And that is the new element, as far as I can see.
then just still have the old carts, the old dual racing carts, and just keep us pleased.
Yeah, it's HD, it's anti-gravity, and it has the Koopalings. I'm sold.
I'm going to briefly talk about my favorite. I did really like Double Dash a lot. It used to be my favorite. It just introduced so much. Not all of it was kept, but it was still just a really big change. But I can almost say Mario Kart 8 is my new favorite, but because of the gutted battle mode, I think I have to go back a little bit and pick Mario Kart 7. Because I can go back and say that Mario Kart 8 is as good as it is because of the things introduced in Mario Kart 7. Mario Kart 7 was in itself a huge innovation. And the graphics were still pretty damn good. It ran really well. There were a lot of good characters, a lot of good customization options. I liked a lot of the tracks. It was just a really good game to me, and I think 7 is my new favorite.
And you gotta play as Shy Guy outside of battle mode.
Yes. Which you can also do in Mario Kart 8 now. You finally get like Lackey 2 and Shy Guy and those characters on a console version, when previously they were just on like Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart 7, and they finally got upgraded.
Those are definitely favorites for me.
Yeah.
For
like
obvious reasons.
I like Shy Guy a whole lot, although like 90% of the time I'm playing as Bowser or one of the Koopalings, I have to say.
Yeah, me too.
Alright, I want to change gears a little bit on the question. Sort of the same question, but let's just focus on the soundtrack. Which Mario Kart soundtrack have you guys liked the best?
That's a toughie. Because I like I like the composition of Mario Kart 64 the best, but it has better orchestration in later installments.
That does make it tough.
Yeah. For me, it's probably going to be the same answer I've given already. Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, but also the Double Dash. For some reason, Double Dash's soundtrack to me just sounded the best.
I really did
in terms of composition.
I really, really did like the music in Double Dash. It's just, and I've told you this before, my problem with it was just the over excessive whistling throughout every single song.
And like I've told you once, I've never noticed that.
If you revisit it, it's all too noticeable. And just like, I think it was most annoying in like the main theme and like the Mario and Yoshi circuit music is when it really showed, and I really hated it. But like, I really like tracks from Double Dash, like Sherbet Land, which has been revisited in Mario Kart 8. Really like that, and I really liked Rainbow Road, and I really liked the character selection music and the victory music. All of that was good, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think each Mario Kart has had its own aesthetic for the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say with the whistling, I think that there were some instruments they favored in each one. Mario Kart 64 definitely sounds different. Like you can tell sort of in the orchestration of the Rainbow Road, which I was just thrilled to see in HD.
Yeah,
Although one thing that I'm not sure how much I like is the fact that the constellations are now fireworks.
Yeah.
Like we had neon constellations in the original,
right, but we still have the hype train.
but it's still awesome.
I gotta say
It
that
was really big and empty and surreal in the original N64. Now it feels sort of more grounded in a strange sort of dream track above the city.
Hmm.
But it's still my favorite.
I can't necessarily argue with you about how you feel about the Rainbow Road remake, because I mean, I sort of see where you're coming from, but I wouldn't necessarily call like empty or whatever word you used a bad thing. But the grounded, I sort of see what you mean. I sort of like the whole added skybox thing. It added a lot to it, but just for me as a whole, that N64 Rainbow Road stage just on Mario Kart 8 is just beyond recognition for me. I mean,
Yeah, I agree with that, but the music is what I always loved most.
the music was really well remastered. I really like that. I gotta say that overall, I really like the sound quality in Mario Kart 8. Or just like the car sounds, engine sounds, all of that, and the music sounds really good. The quality of it is really fantastic, and just all the work they
Yeah,
put
one of
into
the things about the N64 is that it couldn't handle playing the music and all the car sounds at once in multiplayer. So when you're playing multiplayer with 4 people, you have just car sounds blaring over everything. You don't have any music.
Yeah, and that kind of
There's
sucks.
no item sounds. It's really weird.
It is.
It's sort of like you're actually in a car and it's just blazing around you.
And you've got no music, say, to basically uh, cover up the car noises.
Right. And I wanna narrow it down just a little bit. Do you guys have a favorite piece of music from Mario Kart 8 itself that you want to point out?
Well, Rainbow Road.
The N64 one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I also like Tick Tock Clock, but that's just because it's tick-tocky and fun.
That one is pretty wacky.
For me, probably Donut Plains 3, or even, because I remember the tune so vividly from the original Super Nintendo version, but to hear it in HD, the sound quality was just amazing for the track.
Cool.
Yeah,
I just didn't
that's
really
just
get the
an
nostalgia.
experience that I
Yeah.
think.
Because I
I
didn't.
think it's an experience that you get from any track that you remember, and then seeing it like that.
Exactly.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna break the mold and pick ones from new tracks. um, I liked the Cloud Top Fortress music. Is that the Cloud Top Cruise?
Yeah, I
The
was
name
going to
of
mention that too,
it had like Super Mario
because
Galaxy music and
yeah, it has Gusty Garden.
was really well done. And I also really like Dolphin Shoals. How jazzy that is when you come out of the water.
Yeah, yeah. Dolphin Shoals is actually pretty good.
I really like that.
Yeah,
That's
there's
Like I was
also the
actually
Thwomp
surprised by that one.
Ruins. Thwomp Ruins has a nice little moment near the end of the stage where it sort of gets oriental.
yeah, that reminded me of like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles type music. It gave that sort of vibe. I know you guys haven't played those and probably don't know what I'm talking about, but it sounded like that to me, so I sort of liked it because of that. Um, if I had to pick a retro one, let's see, I'm trying to briefly remember all the ones that are in there. It was definitely nice hearing the Rainbow Road track remade. That was really good. I also liked the other one from N64, the one from Royal Raceway. That sounded really good too.
Toad's Turnpike was really nostalgic for me because that's one of the tracks that really sort of epitomizes what the soundtrack for Mario 64 was,
Oh yeah?
which was just this sort of echoing, ethereal, sort of arcadey music. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. And
And the Turnpike really sort of felt that way too, with its concrete tunnels, and it just felt like that music was perfect for that place.
right. And come to think of it, I like the Yoshi's Island music too. The N6, they had a
Yeah,
lot of N64 tracks in there. Now that you think about it.
Yoshi's Valley was one of the most unique tracks because the computer couldn't track where all of the people were in the original, so on
Yeah.
the map it was just question marks.
I know that was so
But in
annoying. I would
this,
always
it's
play
different.
there. I would always play there on N64 and just never know where I was, and I'd finish the race and I'd always be like eighth. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's sort of exciting though too.
Yeah. I find that's one of the few tracks that is actually great for battle though, because of all the different directions you can go.
Yeah.
That's one of the few that works.
At that, I'm gonna have to agree because I just recently did a battle mode online before the stream, and that one was that one wasn't bad. I'm gonna have to admit.
Yeah, it works on. I also like what is it, Toad Harbor, because that has a lot of alternate pathways
Yeah.
as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one also has a lot of fun things to explore.
Yeah, and so those tracks it
It's sort
works,
of a
but if you
combination of Los Angeles and Manhattan and
Mhm.
like other places, other famous US places.
right.
It's fun.
But on the flip side, they have those tracks like Toad's Turnpike and Donut Plains, and I'm just like, why are these choices for battle? They're horrible ideas. But
I kind of liked
Yeah.
being in Toad's Turnpike for battle. I
I
don't know. Maybe it's just my camping tricks
I
are
I guess I just don't like the idea of losing my
working there.
balloons to cars rather than people. I guess.
Well, actually, when you're driving in Toad's Turnpike, the only way that you can actually get hurt by cars is if you run into them. If they run into you, they just push you. They're not moving fast enough to actually hurt you.
Yeah, but still, it's still a hazard that is overly abundant on that track.
It was much more abundant in the N64 version.
Yeah, probably. All right. I'm gonna. Oh darn it! I was trying to do this in an hour, and we still have one more Mario Kart topic. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Now let's do a little bit of speculation. What do you guys think Mario Kart 9 will be like? It's probably
I
going.
have no idea.
It's probably going to be on a portable to just help you guys out, because they had Mario Kart DS before Mario Kart Wii. I'm imagining. So imagine like a portable version of the Wii U, perhaps. They finally make an HD portable system.
Yeah, I think that's probably the next step. But I'm not sure what to expect. Like, they always surprise us.
Yeah, I don't know how you can top anti-gravity, though. Like, I don't know what the next step is.
This is going to sound ludicrous, but I think I have an idea. Call me crazy on it, but it just might work with the next Mario Kart game. What if Nintendo's decided to introduce the concept of time travel?
Whoa.
I mean, like,
yeah, that would
within
be weird.
tracks, or like...
Yeah, within tracks.
Are we talking long time travel or like time travel within the race?
Time travel within the race, maybe long.
Like going back to dinosaur time in the middle of a race through the city?
Now that's an idea.
Well, they already had that dinosaur track in Double Dash. And
Yeah,
so,
but that was a specifically dinosaur place. But if it's like changing, like you go through a portal,
right.
and then suddenly you're with the dinosaurs.
That one
That might be a good idea for maybe one track. Like if we're going through like an EGAD's lab track, and then we have his time machine.
That
He actually has a time machine.
That Mario Kart would need DeLorean DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have a time machine going through a time machine. Time machineception.
Timeception.
Okay. All right. I think we're good.
I actually had one idea too, which might be, I don't know, more or less plausible.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever played Diddy Kong Racing.
I have
the
not.
Original.
I have not actually. I haven't played
because
any of
they had 3 different vehicle types. You had the car, the hover thing,
vehicle, and
a plane.
And a plane.
Yeah, now Sonic's doing that too.
Yeah, but your vehicle warps, like it like transforms in the middle of the race. In Diddy Kong Racing, you chose one for the entire race.
Huh, okay. That's
your stats and abilities reflected it. Like it was more fortuitous to be a hover thing if the course went through water a lot.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Plane is almost always the best thing to do though, because you had so much just freedom to move around. You could do spinning and barrel rolls and other fun things.
That's interesting. I might have to try that out. But I kind of like Nintendo taking the minimalistic approach on it, though. It's like, why does my vehicle have to transform into a plane if a glider can just come out? Why does it have to be a hovercraft if the wheels can just turn over? I like how they're doing that.
Yeah, it does allow for more flexibility of movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does feel like you can go anywhere with a Mario Kart.
It does. It really does. Okay. I think that's it for that. We're at about an hour. How about we stop it here and then start another one for the E3 topic?
Sure.
Sure, if you want to.
Right. Because I was trying to fit this into an hour, and I'm not sure how much longer of a video I'm allowed to put up on YouTube, so I think it would be better if we did that.
Sure.
Alright. So,
Yeah.
Alright. We'll just hang in there, and then we'll do that real quick. Alright, this has been Sajincast number 1.1, I guess, and we'll do 1.2 right after this.
All right.
Alright. See ya.
Okay then. See ya.